What's up, tribe? Thank you for being here and welcome to my channel. Today's post is titled Smell, and as it's a dialogue between Matias and his higher self, I'll be referring to Matias as me and his higher self as I am. Me, recognizing that my body still holds a grudge against things that have happened to me, made me realize how little attention I paid to the body. Due to my discomfort, I decided to have a chat with Marseille and Victor, friends from Capilla del Monte, Argentina, with whom I had a chat from their biocoding point of view to try to see what exactly was wrong with me. And what they made me see was much broader than I thought. Sometimes, by focusing on the first thing one sees, the invisible to the eyes is lost. I am. You have lost your sense of smell. Me, the spiritual knows. I am so here and now that the spiritual path itself made me focus so much on myself, on Matias, solving such personal things today in my life that I focused on what I observe and not on all other realities. Before, I used to think about all my lives, about each memory, but since we worked with the I am so present in myself that I also lost a more global vision of who I am. I am because you are focused on building the access. It is important before moving in all directions to know which is the axis from which you rotate and circulate, focusing on who you are now in order to encompass all that you really are. But at the same time, remember that there is much more. Not lose the capacity for expansion and contemplation of all dimensions. What did you discover? Me, that what happens to me is not something unhealed that I should work on, but it is the anniversary syndrome. I am, what would it be? Me. Well, first of all, to understand it, you have to know that for the mental spirit, everything happens here and now, in eternity, and there is no past, present, or future, but the three are the same, and you can visualize all without being involved in polarities, since it also inhabits all spaces. For the emotional soul, there is a consequence of things, an origin and a destination, as well as the process between the two, that is the path, which divides eternity into the concepts of past, present, and future. And the physical bodies, like the travel log, in which you record every idea outside of time and space, every belief, as well as every event that has occurred in your walk. The books are your cells, and all the data and the DNA and the energy that makes it up. In the same way as in an agenda, the data is written with a date as a registration code that helps define the file more easily. This is how you identify special dates on a calendar, such as a birthday, a holiday, a memory day, or a day off. In this way, the body helps us remember anniversaries. And if we are working on our interior, the cells react to it immediately, bringing up the agenda. I am. And what was on your agenda? Me, 34 years ago, in early November 1986, I was conceived. That makes me double the energy of my grandmother, Renee, who was born in the first days of November. In mid-November was when there was several conflicts of betrayal of close people. In the same way as in its reflection month, in May, where those betrayals that my body felt all happened in Egypt. In addition, a year ago, we managed to heal the family's history by buying a house and starting over. almost betraying the entire macho family tree of my clan. Something unthinkable that an independent woman and her homosexual son were the ones to solve the clan's traumas from Stefano. And it's even funny that one of my turtles, the same day that I started with my problem, woke up from its hibernation process with exactly the same physical problem. I am. And what else? Me. The day my problem started, it was the day we would start working on the idea of ontocracia with Max, who was my husband 12,000 years ago. And since when, we promised to work on it at this time. But he couldn't come because of COVID 19 issues. But he couldn't come because COVID 19 issues that made my body feel trapped since I have been in Egypt. In the month of July, I have only left the hotel 3 or 4 times to a different destination. That was not the pyramids. And 2 of those times, it was to go to other pyramids in Saqqara. As much as my mind and soul feel in full balance, my body refuses to be in Egypt because it does not feel good here, because what it remembers about this place through the emotion of the soul is very different. It is a macho society with a way of being quite invasive and aggressive, not in a bad sense, but in a cultural sense, in which there is no space between people. And the way to interact is by speaking very loudly and with intense emphasis. As much as it's not Saudi Arabia, the environment essentially makes me have to always hide who I am, retain my truth, spirituality, and homosexuality. I can't sit outside meditating on the rocks. It's forbidden. And all the men tell me about how beautiful the women who accompany me are, and why don't I marry one of them? I must smile or apologize to everything. None of this affects me emotionally or psychologically, but you can see that my body does feel it. Feel the rejection, the having to hide, and the feeling that the place where you are living is not the same where you used to live. Egypt is no longer Chem. 12,000 years have passed. Things are very different. I had not realized that the 200 or 300 meters that I do every day, silly actually, seem to be 200 kilometers from my body. 200 meters of pretending, of holding back, hiding, of saying no to everything. Sometimes we are not aware in the mind and soul of how all these things charge the body. I have never had so many physical problems in just 4 months, and I notice that I drag my body with my mind when it feels like it can't take it anymore. And on top of that, I say to myself, well, don't be useless. On top of that, you're not doing anything. Why are you tired? The feeling of being still generates the idea of uselessness in me. And I don't understand how my body can break from doing such simple tasks. So I attribute my physical discomfort to unwanted issues from the past, things that I actually did work on, but my body is not there. Thinking about that, rather, he uses the agenda to remind me of all the moments when he felt abandoned, betrayed, hidden, when he had to pretend, and he put them all together, not to tell me that it did not heal him, but that this is happening now. It looks like that, Marseille told me to say to my body. Although this may seem like what happened, it is not. It is new. It is another reality that we will overcome in a different way. We forgot to talk to the body. I am. In the spiritual search, one forgets that the vehicle of the spirit is the physical body, as well as being the final expression of the spirit itself through the soul. They are not separate things, and the spirit cannot be reached by leaving the body. You can only live the spirit fully from the matter that he himself has created. The spiritual path is carried out step by walking. What you position as subtle ideas above your head manifests itself in the realization of the path through the soles of your feet and what is above you. You cannot see it, you can only perceive it. Me, that's why the sense of smell. I am. During the grudge issue, we have talked about this. Smell is one of the senses that make up the way the body perceives information from its environment. It is related, as we said, to the pineal and pituitary glands, being a way of unifying the third eye and crown. However, smell is the intrinsic sense of the crown chakra. Everything that you have described, that you have lived, that your body has perceived, cannot be understood by the touch, nor the taste, nor the hearing, or even the vision. For everything subtle, that which goes beyond the concrete, the spiritual and conceptual world, is perceived by smell. Remember, the way it works is thanks to respiration, which comes from the Latin resperare, which means to blow again. Before, it was believed that the soul, the essence of being, was the breath, since in death, breathing was stopped, releasing all the gases in the last exhalation, which caused it to be called divine breath, something that in Latin is known as spiritus, which gave rise to spirit. Thus, the breath, the smell, came to be considered the way in which the divinity communicates. And take into account that the spiritual plane is the mental one. It is the plane that sees everything, that perceives everything, without time or space. The one who is not only left with what he sees in front and can touch with his hands, but the one who sees in depth, from the inside, the totality of things, citing what was said at another time. At another time, this is how we call intuition, having a good nose, or when you sense something negative, you suggest this smells bad. In the same way, when a plan seems promising, you reply, it smells good to me. Smell is related to intuitive memory. Intuition means to look deeply, that is to say, to contemplate. The spirit is one who can move away through the air that you breathe, expand into the atmosphere and feel everything, see everything, understand everything. Having a good nose, then, is knowing how to foresee what the body is communicating to me, not only in its poor focus, but in everything that is connected to that fact. Smell is the sense of the spirit related to intuition. Mammals, as you said that time, develop our sense of smell to identify hormones and smells that define what makes us good or bad for us. I think there's a typo here. That defines maybe what makes it good or bad for us, which puts us in danger or safe for safety. Maybe a couple of typos here. Nevertheless, back to the blog. Because our species emerged as little rats at the time of the dinosaurs, in which we could only go out at night without vision, relying only on our olfactory ability to find food, a mate, or enemies. There you said that the intuition of the mammal developed, that in the human it passed to the cultural. What then generates the doubt in me? If smell is the sense of the spiritual, then is the spirit an evolutionary development that arises from smell? I am. Long smile. Me. Wait. What? I am. All the words that you use to define the divine are clearly related to your evolutionary experience. The word cosmos comes from the Greek order. The word universe comes from the Latin, which has a single reaction. The word sun comes from solitude. The word moon comes from the Latin luminous, which in English, moon. It comes from the Indo-European me, which means to measure, referring to measuring the times, which in Spanish gave the word month. And my favorite, the word God, comes from the Indo-European dio, which means day, sun, bright, giving rise to the word dio, and this to diva and divine. Everything that is good has light. It shines. It's clear. It is the day. The word essence refers to things that have the quality of being by themselves. The same word used for perfumes and aromas. Everything that you project to the divine and spiritual is born from a way of seeing the world as a mammal. Everything you call spiritual in your life is related to the development of your sense of smell, to the ability to express and smell the essence, to breathe, to intuit, to perceive. Therefore, to decide the spiritual memories in your body, that broad interdimensional agenda that you spoke of, you must learn from your nose. Me, I must interact with my cells, learn to make them awaken memories. For example, every time I smell a lemon, my mind immediately shows me the lemon tree from my childhood backyard and my talks with my great aunt Olga while we were harvesting lemons, which in turn brings me to the themes we were talking about, such as stars, plants, death. I am. The body has spiritual memory through smell. Breathe in, hold, exhale. The universal breath is the only thing that connects all things. The spirit you seek is not found in the interdimensionality of superior beings or external to your body. The spirituality you seek lies in the smells that your cells have registered with all possible data from millions of years of evolution. Through smells and aromas, you will be able to awaken memories, skills, concepts, ideas, emotions, and immediately recognize the information that you need to activate, clean, heal. Me. What is the proposal? I am. Smell the spirit. Everything that you have walked with your feet, all experience, trauma, and acquired wisdom were registered in your cells. And the way to awaken and identify them, to become aware of all this, is through smell. So practice. If you're going to eat an apple, before swallowing it, smell it with your eyes closed intensely, without expectations. When you go to sleep, smell the sheets intensely. If you drink a tea or coffee, smell their vapors strongly, your clothes, your hands, the skin or hair of others, a flower, a perfume, the garbage. Everything that has a smell, even if it does not seem like it. And becoming aware of the aromas of all things around us activate our extrasensory and spiritual capacity. It smells more intensely. Me. So, from the point of view of physical perception, to awaken the spiritual potential that I carry within me and have a complete vision of my being, I have to practice more with my smell, my ability to feel aromas, which will make my cells activate information. I am, exactly. This is the way your cells will begin to understand because cells do not understand languages or ideas, but actions. Start a week in which you must immerse yourself in the sensations of your body. You must face the crocodile Sobek from the temple of Kamumbu. Remember? Me, yes. There, the Scorpio's task was to face the sensations by testing the five senses to awaken what was hidden in the shadows of biology. I am, well, dare to smell it, dare to smell with intensity. Confront your spirit and what you have registered of it in your cells. Your spiritual preconceptions register in the intuitions and aromas of your soul. Me, I close my eyes and smell the essence of my being.